Hey guys, this is 2.1, day 1 parabolas. Here is your warm-up. And so this is factoring. Factor the following, okay? So if you look, you got a trinomial. We're not going to use this like for this day, but we are going to use it later in this unit. All right, warm-up, factor the following. 2.1, you have 3 terms, 1, 2, 3. When you have 3 terms, the easiest way to factor is start doing 2 sets of parentheses. Okay, factors of x squared is x and x. You have a 1 right here. You multiply your a times your c. So 1 times 2 is positive 2. And you want 2 numbers that multiply to give you a positive 2, and it's going to add or subtract to give you negative 3. All right. Since this is a positive, that means you're going to add either 2 positive or you're going to add 2 negatives together, okay? And since your third term right here is a negative, both of these are going to be negative. What are 2 numbers that multiply to get 2? 1 and 2. Also, 2 and 1. You see how that repeats? Stop right there. Excuse me. All right. Negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2. Negative 1 plus negative 2 is negative 3. You see how they both function? So here's minus 1, minus 2. And it does not matter if you put negative 2 here and negative 1 there. Does not matter. Okay? All right. Factoring. Look over here. You got 4 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whenever you have 4 terms, group the first 2 together, group the last 2 together. Make sure they go in order from your highest to your lowest degree. All right. So, look at these first 2. What do they have in common? 7r squared. So basically, you're going to divide 7r squared from each one. 21 divided by 7 leaves you 3. R cubed divided by r squared leaves you r. Negative 28 divided by 7 leaves you negative 4. R squared cancel. This method is called grouping. We're going to group stuff together. You see that plus? Keep the sign. Okay? What do these 2 have together? Greatest common factor is a 2. Factor out your 2. When you factor out your 2, this is what you have left. 6r divided by 2 is 3r. Negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. Remember how this is called grouping? You're going to put what's alike together. So we're going to put these guys together because they are alike. And no, it's not going to be a square because you're adding here. Okay? You see these 2 that the oddballs? You put those guys together, and there you have your factoring. And there's your warm-up. Make sure you take a picture of this and submit it in the warm-up section of Google Classroom. Okay. Today, our goals for today is you guys are going to be reviewing the graphs of a parabola. This is called conic, and the parabola is this shape right here. So it's a cone, is why it's called a conics. And if I were to cut a piece of paper at this angle, okay, that's how you get that parabola. If I were to do it like this, cut it straight across, you get a circle. If I were to cut it at an angle like this, you get the oval. So as you can see, the shapes. Today we're going to stick with parabolas. This is a quadratic. The highest power is a 2. It's always x squared. If it's x to the third, it's not quadratic. It's always x squared. Okay. All right. I apologize, but there's a lot of writing today. Okay? All right. It says match the roots to the picture. So let's see. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. That's better. All right. So if you take a look, go ahead and see if you guys can try it first. If you look, you see how they're crossing the x-axis right here? This one would be the 2 roots. Okay? You see how this one's not crossing the x-axis at all? This would be no root. All right? Keep going. Right here, it's only at 1, so you only can have 1 root. So a root is basically your x-intercept. Why are you crossing the x-axis? Okay, next part. Why would a quadratic equation have no roots? That's when it is an imaginary solution. This is where the I comes in. Remember the I that you guys learned? Excuse me. Okay. Now, here are the notes I want you guys to write. Okay? Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger for you. So do this in your notes. Okay. This is called a standard form. You guys can see ax squared plus bx plus c. Here's the vertex form. Okay. I like the vertex form for graphing. It makes everything so much easier for me. Oh, I need a drink. My throat's a little dry. Okay. F of x, this is called a standard form. This right here is called the vertex form. Okay, and I'll show you guys both. And the vertex is always HK. So take a moment as I read this to you. You might need to pause because you are going to be writing all this down in your notes. These are the characteristics of a quadratic function. Has an x squared term. The largest power is a 2. The graph is a parabola. That's a U shape. Sometimes it opens up or it will open down. It's one or the other. No in between. The symmetrical about the axis of symmetry, we're going to use that as AOS instead of writing the word axis of symmetry. The vertex is the highest or the lowest point on the parabola. And I'll explain this a little bit more. Excuse me. If your A is positive, the parabola opens up and you have a minimum, that's a vertex. So if you look, you have a parabola, it opens up, you're going to have a minimum because it opens up. If it opens down, you will have a maximum. Okay, so here's your max, here's your minimum. And it all has to do with A. Positive A opens up, negative A opens down. You might want to pause to write all this down, but I'm going to move on the video. Welcome back. Graphing quadratics. These are step-by-steps to help you, all right? Okay, number 1, always find your A, B, and C first. Your A is always in front of the x squared. Your B is always in front of the x, and your C is a number by itself. All these are just numbers, just like that. You just want the numbers. You need to determine if the parabola opens up or down. If your A is positive, it opens up. If your A is negative, it opens down, just like your previous notes. Your axis of symmetry is x equals negative b over 2a. You need to memorize this formula. It's negative b over 2a. Okay? Okay, so find the vertex by plugging in the axis of symmetry into the original equation, and you're going to get x and y for a vertex. For the roots, if this is a 0, it's going to touch the graph and move back up, or go up and come back down. If this part right here, when you plug it in, is a positive number, it's going to cross the x-axis twice. If this right here, when you plug it in, gets a negative number, it will never cross the x-axis. No real solution. It'll be imaginary. Okay? All right. After you do that, you're going to make a table of x and y, and I'll show you how you're going to have a vertex, and then you're going to go 2 points up, 2 points down. Okay? And I'll show you that. And where do you do this? You go to y equal, type in the equation, hit second, and your table. Go find the vertex. That's the easiest way to do it. And I'll show you that in a little bit. and then you graph. And when you plot, you need to have 5 points. You need to have a vertex plus 4 others. Now, do not be sloppy with your graph. If you graph like this, that is sloppy, because a parabola should look like a U. Pretty, with an axis of symmetry like that, okay? So make sure you don't do bad work. All right. Some of you might need to pause or rewind for this part, okay? Before we start your example, so go ahead and pause. Okay, example 1. So let's take a look. You got this equation. This is in the standard form, highest degree to your lowest degree. Okay, so before I start, make sure you label your graph. 1, 2, 3, 4, you only have to go to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I had put 50, this would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So make sure you always label your graph, okay? Why does it look kind of blurry to me? Is that better? Let's see. Okay, did much better. All right, so your A is right there, -1. B, 2, C, 3. It's always ax squared plus bx plus c. Your A is always in front of the x squared, your B is always in front of the x, and the number is always c. Okay? So we're only going to do half of what I want you to learn today, and then we'll do the other half next time. See how this is negative? So this is going to open down. So your parabola is going to look like this. Your axis of symmetry, you're going to use this formula. Remember the formula? It's x equals -b over 2a. Okay? So x equal b, -2 over 2 times -1. Your a is -1. And then you're going to simplify. -2 over -2 is 1. That is your axis of symmetry. So we're going to cross the x-axis at 1. I just marked all over myself. You believe that? There is your axis of symmetry. Okay? All right. Your vertex. See this one? Goes right here. How do you find this one then? Well, you're going to substitute. You're going to plug it in to your original equation. Here we go. Y equal -1 squared plus 2 times 1 plus 3. So I just plug in for your x. Go to your calculator. Let it do all the work for you. And what do you have? Negative, parentheses, 1 parentheses squared, plus 2 times 1 plus 3. Put parentheses around it, and what do you get? 4. So your vertex is 1, 4. Okay? So that means I'm going to go to 1, 4. And there's my vertex. I know it's going to open down, so you're going to have a minimum. And where's that minimum value? At 1, 4. All right. I have 1 point. I need to go find 4 more. So you're going to go to your table to get 4 more points. Okay? Watch what I do. All right. Go to y equal. Type in the equation. -x squared, just like you see it, plus 2x plus 3. Make sure you type it correctly. You can hit graph if you want. Not required. Kind of gives you what the graph looks like. Okay? But I'm going to go to the table, so second table. Go to your vertex, 1, 4. Did you guys see that right there? Go 2 up, and then 2 down. So -1, comma 0, 2 up, down, 0, 3. Vertex, down, 2, 3, comma 3, 0. So I just wrote down my 4 points, and that's going to help me graph. All right? So you guys ready? -1, 0, 0, 3. See how that's axis of symmetry? It's like a mirror. 2, 3, 3, 0. And there's your graph. And that's all you have to do. Okay? All right. Next one. That's a test. Where's all my paper? Well, let me give you another set of notes. I don't know where my notes went. All right. Okay, that's example 1. Let's go to example 2. Here we go. I'm just going to use this notes to help me right here. All right. Okay. Oh, that's day 2. I'm not doing that. I'm on the wrong page, guys. My apologies. All right. Here's day example 2. Okay. Remember to go and label 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you need to feel like to go to 8, go to 8 or 10. That's up to you. All right, here we go. Okay, your A is 2, B is 12, C is 18, positive, so it's going to open up. All right. If it opens up, it's going to look something like this. Axis of symmetry, negative 12, divided by 2 times A, so negative 12 over 4 gives you negative 3. So your vertex is negative 3, comma. Go and type that in, just like this. Clear? 2 parentheses 3 square plus 12 times 3 plus 18. So what I just typed in? Oh, that is not right. It's negative 3. Ooh, no wonder I was like, ooh, hang on. I screwed up. It happens. Plus 12 times negative 3 plus 18. 0. There we go. So your vertex is 3, negative 3, 0. Okay? It's going to open up, so it's going to be a minimum with a vertex of negative 3, comma 0. These are always the same. Let's go ahead and graph. Axis of symmetry first. Negative 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Vertex, negative 3, 0. Your vertex is always on the axis of symmetry. Next part, go to y equal. Type in the equation, and we're going to get our points. 2x squared plus 12x plus 18. Second table. Let's go find negative 3, 0. Right there. Go 2 up. So what are your points? Negative 5, 8. Negative 4, 2. Negative 2, 2. Negative 1, 8. Those are my 4 points. 2 up, 2 down. Okay? And let's graph. Negative 5, 8. 3, 4, 5, 8. Positive right up here somewhere. Negative 4, 2. Negative 2, 2. Negative 1, 8. And there you have your graph. Please make yours look better than mine. Make sure it doesn't look like a V. Okay? And there you go. Alrighty. Example 3. Now this is a standard form. Example 3 is a vertex form. Okay? So this is a vertex form. Alright, so here we go. Now before you start, you need to rewrite this equation. So y needs to be by itself. So how do you get y by itself? You add 5 to both sides. See how that cancels out? So now you have, let me write it right here, y equals 1/3 x plus 2 squared plus 5. All right. Now, this is a vertex form because you've got parentheses with that up there. Your h and your k, there's your h and your k, is always your vertex. So vertex is always your h and your k. If you go back to that equation when I first taught it to you, let me show it to you again. Okay. Remember how I made you guys write that? It's x minus h squared. This is always the opposite. So your h, opposite of positive 2, is negative 2, and your k is 5. There's your vertex. No work involved. The axis of symmetry is negative 2. Remember, those numbers are always the same. Okay? Your a is always the number in front of the x squared. So your a is 1/3. No b, no c. Positive is going to open up. Notice I haven't done any equation at all. You know your graph's going to go like this, so it's going to have a minimum at negative 2, 5. Just like that. Okay? So now let's go ahead and graph. Remember to label. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 5. All right. Axis of symmetry, negative 2. Okay? Vertex, negative 2, 5. All right. Go to your calculator to get your other points. Type it just like you see it. Here we go. 1 divided by 3 parentheses, x plus 2 parentheses square plus 5. Okay. Just type it correctly. Second table. There's your vertex, so 2 points up. So negative 4, 6.3, negative 3, 5.3, negative, where got that one? Negative 1, 5.3, and 0, 6.3. Plot those points, okay? So negative 4, 6.3, negative 3, 5.3, negative 1, and 0. It's compressed. See how your graph looks like that? And there you go. Okay. Example 4. Well, what if you don't have a b? Well, it looks like this. X squared plus 0x plus 4. That's what that equation looks like. So here we go. What's your a? 1. B is 0. C is 4. And it's going to open up because that's positive. Axis of symmetry, 0 over 2 times 1 is 0. Your vertex is 0, comma, okay, let's type it in. Here's your work. 0 squared plus 4 comes out to be 4. Just like that, okay? Now just plug it back in. It opens up, so you're going to have a minimum at 0, 4. Graph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alrighty. So let's look at the graph. Axis of symmetry is 0. Vertex is 0, 4. Go to my calculator to get my other points. X squared plus 4, second table. 0, 4, 2 up, 2 down. So I have that. Negative 2, 8, negative 1, 5, 1, 5, and 2, 8. Just like that. Plot those points. Negative 2, 8, kind of like right there. Negative 1, 5, 1, 5, and 8. And there you have your graph. Okay? I hope this helps you guys a lot of what to do to find all your points. And so y equal is wonderful to find the coordinates that you need. All right, good luck. I hope you guys do well. You all have a quiz over this. Have a great day. Bye.